But I'll go through and I'll talk about the fishing rods first, and then I'll go through and I'll talk about my tackle. All right, so my first here is, this is a Berkeley lightning rod. This is an ultralight 8-foot. I got this right out of Walmart. The reel the same, right out of Walmart, pretty cheap. No more. This setup here is probably $40. It's cheap. I like to keep everything simple and cheap, but 40 bucks. I caught it on sale. So if you're into getting another rod, this is your universal rod right here. This will work for a little bit of everything I'm about to talk about today. But anyway, what I have here, this is old. This is nothing new. This is a slip bobber tactic. With this, you can fish your jig. Essentially what I have here is a little Berkeley power middle one here. You can fish it at any depth. All right, what I mean by that is, when I cast this out, I have a bobber stopper at the top here. I don't know if y'all can see that. I have it tied on here, and what it does is I have it set up to, but this is probably like three or 4 foot, but I can fish it at that depth right there. And what it does is stops the bobber here. Once it makes contact with the water, it'll float up and won't go no further than that, and I can fish at that depth, and I can adjust it as I need to. Okay, all right, this is a really good technique, especially when you see crappie on your fish finder. They're suspended. Crappies feed up, so you want to keep the lure above their head most of the time. Okay, there are some times where you can catch crappie in deeper water and they'll actually chase a bait, but most of the time they're always looking up. Okay, but this is a real good technique, and I use it majority of the time. I think I have 1 or 2 videos with me using this one. But I got a Theo cork on here. Anyone will work. I mean, as long as it's a slip bobber, it'll work. Okay, but this is one technique that I use right here. And like I said, there's many jigs you can use, but I keep it simple. I try to match what the natural forage is that I think those crappie are fishing on, which is basically like a 2-inch minnow. Okay, there's different colors, but I find that keeping as natural as possible is always the best way to go. Okay, so that's tactic number 1 there, slip bobber. Okay, and if you need me to go more in depth about this technique, you just hit me up in the comment section and I'll talk to you one-on-one. Another one is a crappie crankbait. Okay, crappies have big mouths, and they're like bass, but the mini version of them. Believe it or not, this crankbait, and I actually caught them on bigger crankbaits than this, crappie will actually hit these all day long. Okay, and it's pretty simple technique. You just cast it out there and reel it back to you nice and slow. All right, keep your rod tip down. And I'm fishing this on a St. Croix. I've had this rod for a good amount of time, but this is a 6-foot. I have some Mr. Crappie 4-pound test along with a little loose reel. They have these in Walmart for about 15 bucks. This rod is a little bit more expensive, but I got it as a Christmas gift, so you know, I'll take it. But anyway, just casting this out and reeling it back to yourself. That is one deadly technique is in the summertime, especially when you get on the school of crappie and you want to target those bigger ones. All right, this is the way to go. You can even upsize this crankbait to almost a little bit bigger than that, and that will work all day long. I've caught them on that too, and I'm looking at doing a video on those too. All right, another one. This is a Sam Heaton B&M rod here. This came out of Walmart. This was $20. Okay, I got a crappie hunter on here, $15 rod. Cheap setups. Okay, you don't have to go out there and spend a whole lot of money. So cheap setups. Okay, and I got a road runner on here with a spinner, so like an underspin, a smaller version. And I got it tipped with a another crappie jig. Okay, this is just one technical color. I like to switch up the colors to, you know, what the crappies I think they're gonna bite, or I'll swap them up. You know, when I'm catching a lot of them, I'll go ahead and I'll throw another color on there just to keep the school biting. Okay, but same thing like the crankbait, just cast it out there and reel it back to you. A really simple technique, pretty deadly in the summertime. You can fish this road runner and all of the water columns. You know, you can fish it up high in a water column. You can fish it as low as, I don't know, 15-20 feet if you want. But the idea is to reel it back nice and slow. You don't have to put a lot of action to it. You just, like I said, you keep it real simple, reeling it back to yourself. Okay, this rod here, I believe it's a 7'1" rod. It's very limber, very limber. Okay, when you're fishing with this light line, 2-pound, 4-pound test line, you want a pole that's a little bit more limber, got a lot of flexibility in it. Okay, that'll keep you from getting broke off. Alrighty, let's see here. We'll talk about another one here. This is a simple casting jig here. What I have is a smaller profile minnow on here, or a crappie jig, and I have a little small snap blade to it. I'm fishing with 1 pound test line. I like to fish with this right here when I'm fishing for shell cracker, bluegill, and crappie, because this is definitely one technique that they definitely love to bite. Okay, and same thing, casting it out there, reeling it back slow. We'll talk about the rod here. This is another B&M rod. This is a 5'6", I believe. Very limber rod. Really limber rod here, and I got it on a Zebco Stinger. Cheap setup. This is all you need, and you'll get it done in the summertime. Yep, so that's gonna pretty much do it for this video. If you have any other questions about some of my tactics, you know, what to use, feel free to hit me up in the comment section. My phone number is on my YouTube channel, so feel free to hit me up, and we'll talk about it. I did this setup was artificial because I know in the summertime, it's, you know, minnows are definitely going to work. They work. If you just go out there with straight minnows, you're going to catch them. But it's kind of a hassle having minnows, especially when it's hot, to keep those minnows cool. Carrying them, if you're fishing from the bank, you know, you got to carry that big bucket of minnows. So a lot of times it's a lot easier to target these fish on artificial. But you can absolutely catch them with artificial. Don't be afraid. Just get out there and try it.